Hi everyone, this is Charley and welcome to today's speed build, which is going to be a converted cathedral. Um, the idea behind it is I've always the backstory is that I've always enjoyed converted buildings, especially old ones that has a lot of history and lots of story. That's why I really like when people do converted barn builds, converted churches, everything that in its original state wasn't supposed to be turned into a residential home, but had a different purpose. And I've tried different ways to do a converted church because I like the idea of it, but I couldn't really get it to work because I wanted the church parts to be this majestic thing popping up. But usually when I Google converted churches on Google, they didn't really look, they looked like regular churches, but they were very small. And I wasn't sure it was going to convert very well into, building it in Sims. So that's why I thought, what about a cathedral? Because cathedrals, they're big, they're majestic. Um, so if I remember, I will fold in a picture somehow here of the picture I found on Google that inspired me to build this kind of build. And I place it in Windenburg because the area fitted it a bit better. Since there's lots of old and I've used a lot, I think the party house roommates. It's there a lot because it's right by the river and it was very, very beautiful. I think it's the old factory or something, and I thought it was very fitting. So what I did here, you see, it's just just trying. Because if I remember to put in the picture of the you know real converted cathedral I found, I'm trying to mimic the style of it, that you have towers on each end, so the original state of the cathedral is still intact. It's just that you can imagine that maybe the roof in the middle part has collapsed. So I took a lot of inspiration also when it comes to coloring, like what kind of bricks and roof styles I should use, and how to do it. So the original cathedral I found on the picture is supposed to be in Boston. It's called the Lucas, I think, and that one was converted to condos. I thought first it was office buildings, and I thought, wow, that's so cool to have a converted cathedral into office buildings. That would be so cool. It wasn't. It was luxury condos. I just found out. Either way, so at the entrance where you walk in, it's just one tower. I think in the end I tried to make it into a clock tower. I'm not entirely sure. But either way, it has that really pointy roof, and I try to really make it grand. But those who get famous windows, I do not end up keeping them, because one thing I love about churches and cathedrals is the way they handle, the stained windows, the stained glass. There's lots of colors everywhere. So I end up changing it, especially for those three windows at the bottom. In the middle of the big one, I end up in those from the get together stained big glass windows. Are so gorgeous. I love them so much. It's just trying to figure out a way to use them. But it fit really well, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the interior layout of the rooms in a bit when we get to this. But my intention was I wanted to use like a cobblestone for the church, because I was thinking that I wanted this to be like a really old church. It was supposed to be built in medieval times and that kind of thing. But when I Google on pictures of cathedrals, most of them were built in bricks. Even back in the like 12th, 13th century, which was a bit interesting. Here I'm trying to figure out pillars, because also pillars of the cathedrals I found pictures of. The pillars were very grand. They were not just straight pieces. They were very grand and they had lots of details on them. So it would took me a while to find the correct pillar, and it had it to match the trim I'm using. yeah, it was a lot of there was a lot of thought going into this build to really trying to make it feel like a cathedral. So I use lots of these. I think these are the pillars I use on the outside, and then I use even more intricate, detailed pillars on the inside. I do make cuts in this video. I have cut it down lots, because I first built one interior layout of the rooms, and then I wasn't pleased with it, and I ended up deleting it completely. So there's a few cuts in the video, but you'll notice when they happen. So yeah, just trying to get the exterior correct in the way I want to. So the exterior, I love it. Not sure if I haven't changed the windows yet. Actually, I see that now. I will in a bit. Also, yeah, why I used also bricks, because I wanted the modern extension part, or the modern conversion part in the middle. I wanted that to be, cement concrete, like very, very in contrast to what was supposed to be the cathedral's original estate. So that's why that ended up being that's why the church part ended up being more like the reddish brick, and so you got that concrete bit in the middle that was like screaming grey at your face. Also, I had that's also one thing, I had so much trouble with the stairs. Because I was imagining it that when you enter the cathedral, maybe you would have some kind of grand staircase. I mean, there would be staircase going up and over each other, all the way up to a tower. Like, you could just see all the way up to the clock tower almost. Um, but so I had a bit of trouble. Also, here is my idea that these two rooms were supposed to be the kids' room, and then you have towers on top. They were like connected through the two back towers. And my idea was that there you have a room, you enter on the first floor, but then you would have that, like, the rooms, instead of being one big room, they would have two levels to move on. So they maybe they would have the bedroom on the top floor, and and then a lounge area or a desk or something on the bottom floor. That was the idea. But the staircase is just, I couldn't get it to work out because the space was not big enough. So that was so annoying. Um, yeah, it didn't really go the way I wanted to. I love the idea. Maybe that's something I'm going to use in a different build, but not in this one. And here you see the entrance. So we have, I tried to make it feel a little bit more modern. My original thought was to have the living room in the modern section on the floor over, and also my first original idea was to keep this space open, because I'm thinking this was supposed, like the old, like a convent or something. This is where you went to have a prayer, and there will be an altar and all that kind of thing. I didn't end up keeping it because I wasn't sure how to furnish it. So I decided that whichever family lived in this or decided to convert it, they made their own little changes, and just to make sure it worked. But I mean, it's a small build. I mean, if this was bigger, I might have done it differently. But I'm really pleased how it ended up, and I love how the kitchen ends up. It's like a little galley kitchen at the back, but I use all these archways and columns everywhere, so it's really, really nice. At the first, I used this wallpaper with the white trims to try to get that bit more modern feel to it. That it's old, but it's still new, because I didn't want everything to be old. But I felt like, no, it doesn't match the feeling I want to, and I tried to aim for a breakfast nook, but I felt like it just looks so crammed. I mean, can they even walk in there? Is there even room? Um, so the living room ends up actually gets smaller in the end than it was supposed to, because I decided, well, there's a little breakfast nook. It's going to end up, but it's only going to be a table and two chairs, because since I couldn't get it to fit the way I wanted to. And then we have, yeah, so this is where I change the wallpapers to the more wood panel, and I also changed a bit of the brick, because I felt like, no, I wanted wood panels. So there's a bit of bricks, to try to keep that in. But otherwise, there's lots of wood panels. The only parts I'm going to keep later on, a bit more modern, are the bedrooms because they're a bit more personalized. But otherwise, the rest is there's a lot of wood and brick tone, and I felt like it was a bit more suited because it didn't need to be modern, but it needed to be something. So yeah, so we got those two back rooms as well behind the kitchen, and one is simply just a storage room. It's not actually not used for anything, besides aesthetics and as a storage room. And the other one I can't remember because it was a few days ago since I completed this build. So we're going to probably notice in a bit. So here's I'm just starting to decorate the first floor, and I keep going back up a second floor to try to figure out what do I actually want where, and um so this is where, yeah, this ends up first as a dining room. First, I want to have this grand table. It was really nice. It very, very fitted well in front of that fake fireplace. I love that update because I think it's a fantastic detail to add those fake fireplaces. Because if you don't want to put a shim, because I feel like if you add a real fireplace in your sim house, you gotta have you gotta have a chimney, because otherwise it doesn't really make sense. So I think those fake fireplaces are perfect, especially if your sim family or whoever, like if you have single sim, or doesn't matter. Well, I mean, what my point is, if they live in an apartment, these are great, because if you still want that sort of fireplace feel, this is perfect. But then again, in a build like this, there probably was fireplaces in a cathedral. I don't know. I haven't really done my research on that part. But either way, my point is, I love those fake fireplaces. So these are the stained glass windows. I love it. They just, I didn't want to build them in with walls, so that's why I kept the archways, and I just love them. And I end up using those curtains because I felt like they matched what I wanted to. Uh, have, I don't know, the feeling I wanted to spread out. So it's there's a lot of like carpenter style, like more that kind of style to it. Um, yeah, so this is just a little breakfast nook because it's just two chairs to that table. And I felt like that was enough because usually your sims sometimes, I mean, if the one sim is going up earlier than the other, they don't have to have breakfast at the big table. They can just, sit in the little breakfast nook and eat there. Um, so yeah, but that dining table is going to end up being moved a little bit to the side because I end up using that space both as a dining room and a living room. And here I just put some plates on because I try to make the place feel a little cluttered as well. Now I just have to remember what happens also in those downstairs room. I can't remember. One is going to be a toilet. That much I know. I need a drink. I'm sorry, I'm coughing in your ear all the time. There we go. That's there's a laundry room with. No, the laundry room only has a shower. The reason why I put a shower in the laundry room, you're going to see that in a bit, when I put the shower in, is because when I grew up in my house, in my parents' house, we had a shower in the laundry room. For some reason, I think it's just the way the house was designed, and that is a touch I like because sometimes if you sim, they only need a shower. They don't need to go to the toilet. They can go to the laundry room to have a shower instead because you can do it. Oh yeah, here we go. So since the grand entrance, via behind the staircase, I wanted to keep that area a bit free. I decided to convert the other space into some kind of oh, there's a word for it. Like this is where you go to take off your shoes and you hang your coat and all that kind of things. Um, there is a word for it. I just don't know it. So that's what's supposed. So you enter, your sim come in, they enter, and then you go. Technically, I mean this is Sims, so it wouldn't work. But in real life, I was thinking technically, then you would go right, straight, past one of the staircases, and then just go into that room, put everything off, put your coat off, put your shoes away, all that kind of thing, before you continue, because there's also a doorway leading. It's just it's just also purely aesthetic rooms, but you can sit there and do stuff. And this ends up just being like just downstairs bathroom. I think it has two entrances, so it's supposed to be some kind of guest bathroom. Like if you have guests over, if you simply have guests over, this is the bathroom they use on the downstairs. So I was thinking, because on the middle floor and the top floor, the middle floor are bedroom. Yeah, the rest is just bedroom. So this is actually the entertainment area for your Sims. There's not really anything anywhere else to go, because the rest is what you would say private quarters. Um, so this room only has a toilet. There's no shower, because that was my intention. Because if you're a guest and you're only staying there for a dinner party, you certainly shouldn't shower. You should only use a toilet and a sink. That's the idea anyway. And then you have the shower in the laundry room, but the guests are not allowed in the laundry room, so I wouldn't understand. Yeah, so here you see I'm actually moving, because I felt like I wanted the upstairs to be to be big, because I wanted that to be the master suite. It's like really, really big. At first I was trying to convert, because I felt like a master bedroom, it looks just so big. Is that really enough room, or is that maybe too much room? So that's why I tried to squeeze in two bedrooms, so there would be like one parent bedroom, three kids bedroom, but it didn't really work out the way I wanted to. And you're going to see also in a bit what I do with the master suite. So this is the sofa. Just I do keep the from Parenthood. Don't think I keep that Caribbean sofa, because I think I just have two identical Parenthood sofas in the end, because I really like those. They have this family comfy vibe to it. But it was really hard finding something that matched. So you see, I'm just going through almost the entire catalogue. I feel like this game needs more sofas in general. Like, more of the family friendly or comfy friendly sofas. So I'm a little bit disappointed in that there are choices at the moment. Yeah. So this is going to be the parents' bedroom. So they're going to have an ensuite in one of the towers, and then the other tower is going to turn into an office, which they only can access. Those are just single doors, but I put them together as double doors. But I do change them up to a proper double door with glass windows. But I mean, even if your sim would walk through, they wouldn't be able to, actually see what's happening in the bedroom, because I put that pillar in the middle with archways. So it's like, they can't see anything either way. So it doesn't really matter. So it works out. And then I change the floorboards. I think it looks like it. I don't know, because I used those more like rugged floorboards, because I felt like I wanted, like maybe I was part of the original, but then again, it wouldn't make sense, because if this cathedral was that old, maybe lots of the floorboard would be, what's it called? They would be rotten, and you would have to change it eventually. So I don't know. So then at the top, yeah, you see I started also the layout before earlier on the kids' bedroom. So they're very small, but I like them because they don't really need much. So yeah, this is the parents' bedroom, and it's the first bedroom I painted all white. Because I like the wooden on the downstairs, but I wanted to keep it there because it's a bit more modern. You got the more modern windows, and it's I wanted it to actually feel like, okay, now you're actually entering part of the cathedral that is converted. This is where the modern section starts. I wanted to, you're supposed to have that feel, and you notice it especially on the windows, and that's like the first mark of it. So I leave it very white. It's very very carpentry style, but it's very white and very light, and just very airy. So here I combine those two dining tables just to make a corner desk, and then just put a few clusters in. So it's a very simple office, but I felt like I mean, it didn't really have an office, and also that was the space of the house. I didn't really know what to use, so it ended up like that, and I felt like that's okay. That's okay. And I think both of the kids' bedrooms have their own computer. I think so. So it's like, well, of course, well, if the kids have, a computer in each of the bedrooms, the parents need a computer too. But it's like in a separate room. So when you sleep, you're not really bothered by it. It's there. And of course, they have their own ensuite. I have play tested it, so you should be able to walk through everything that you need to access. And they have a bathtub that have that. I think is a luxury bathtub from Get Famous, and the more 50s styled. Um, what else? Yeah, just going through decoration really. It's just I wanted to feel a little bit more cluttered, but I didn't really know what to use. And also this hallway I keep very simple. I have those 2 ottomans and just a few decorations, but I try to keep it very simple. And here I put one of those makeup stands. I can't remember. I'm not sure what they're called. Um, that's also one thing I don't really build that much. I think with the like taller wall heights, because it gives you so much wall room that I never know what to do with it all. So I don't know, but I think I would say I ended up decorating it pretty good. So it ended up very nice. I also changed those doors to the kids' bedrooms because it's more medieval doors. And here you see the parents got the double glass room. So one is a girl, one is a boy. It's very simple. It's nothing much to it. And since the rooms are only three squares wide, so it was a bit interesting trying to furnish it, because usually I always build bedrooms that at least are 4 squares wide, but this wasn't, because there wasn't much space to deal with. Um, but I think it works. I mean, they can access all the way through, and I think I decorated them like more teenagers in mind. So I mean, they don't really need much, because a teenager is practically an adult, and everything the adults can do, the teenagers can do. Um, so they don't really need much. There's a keyboard there with a microphone. And then I put some yellow curtains on the wall. I don't know, maybe to feel like this teenager likes music. I don't know. I just put lots of random clutter on the wall, really. Because I remember when I was a teenager, that's what I wanted to do in my room. I just wanted to put random crap on the walls, but I wasn't allowed to for my parents for some reason. Probably just because my parents were afraid that I would rip the wallpaper if I started putting up lots of posters. I mean, now when I think about it, I understand, because when you have your own place, you're a bit, scared of it, because it'll be damaged and you'll have to fix it and it'll be costly and that kind of thing. Not that a poster would damage that much, but you know what I mean. So I was always envious of other children and teenagers that was allowed to put posters on the walls. It sounds very silly, but now that you know my backstory, it makes sense. Okay, this wasn't a teenage bedroom. It was more a kid's bedroom. I don't know. It could be a teenage bedroom. This is also, fun fact, this is the only TV in the entire build, which is in this kid's bedroom. Which is a little bit silly. But still, exactly, this is more kid's bedroom. That could be a teenage bedroom. It depends on how you see it. I mean, I don't really care. I just wanted to decorate, and I thought it was very fun. I do put those like a different wool papers, just give a bit more flair, more pizzazz, or whatever. I don't know how to say it. So we are actually ending soon the end of this video. We are having a few more minutes left before we end up into the pictures. My throat's really sorry. So what I did, first of all, I put those brick tiles, because you can't put fences straight on the border, which I think is stupid still. So I fenced it off with just I think a regular cobblestone fence. Although around here is where I find it. I also put a few gravestones around, just like not I didn't go into like by debug or anything, but you have these headstones as a decorative items, and I put a few of those around. I'm not sure they would actually, because a cathedral this big, I mean, you wouldn't. I don't think you would have proper headstones and graves around it, because I think it would be more common that you would have a separate graveyard next to it, like a big plot of land. But since I didn't have a big plot of land right next to me to do that graveyard, I had to do it like this way. And I thought, just a few, like, or maybe it could have been a part of that. The cathedral could have been a part of a much bigger land, and there was like lots of more headstones. But these were the few that are left, and that were still there. So just, it's very, very simple. There's a trees in the middle of the pebblestone walk. This is a very simple. You can access it, but only from the back entrance, I think. So yeah, so we and just a few flowers, and I put a few of those stones around to try to imitate them as like broken headstones, because I thought they wouldn't have enough. And here is a few pictures on the side and the front, and this is the back of it, and then this is the other side. We get where the clock is on the clock tower, because I was thinking Quasimodo. They didn't really have any good clocks, but I thought those would do. And here's a bit of close-up picture on the headstones, and lots of flowers, because I wanted to make it feel a little bit overgrown, but not too much. And here we are at the storage room by the kitchen. And here we have the kitchen, the galley kitchen itself. I love it. I think it's a very, very nice fitting kitchen. There's the laundry room, which is, I like it a lot as well, with a shower. And there's a dining room with the living room, and here we are coming into the breakfast nook. It's very simple, but I think it works fine. And this is another piece of the living room downstairs. And here we are. This is the guest bathroom on the downstairs floor, and here I tried to aim for a staircase picture to see how they just keep swindling up, but I didn't really get. And this is one of the entrance at the dining room, and this is the first landing area of the staircase. And you have the master bedroom here. With I just put a few of those doors as decorative. The book doors, they're actually hidden doors, but I thought it looked nice to have like built-in bookcases in. Just a few pictures of the master bedroom. We have the office here, and then we are heading into the master suite, ensuite, I think it's called, and then we have the landing area for the kids' bedroom on the upstairs floor, where you have a few pictures of their rooms and their bathrooms, because they're very similar. They're like, but there's a few details that separate them. I didn't put any blinds on the windows because I didn't think it was necessary. Lastly, before this video ends, I just want to say, like, subscribe, comment if you like this video and want to support anything else I do. And I hope you had a great day, and download link will be in the description below, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!